Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for today's webinar with today's host is David Richards, and he is their head of networking sales, North America, and he'll be today. If anyone has any, please submit them in the question box so that David will be able to answer them at the end of today's presentation. David, thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate it. We're all looking forward to what you have to share with us. I am finished for now, so please go ahead and take it on over.
All right, well, welcome everyone, and a special thank you to you, Julie, and your entire team for helping us put this webinar together. Again, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Dave Richards. I'm the head of networking sales here at Grandstream for the North American region. I'm also joined by Abdel Jabbar, who is our support engineer and lead trainer. So if you have any technical questions that come up towards the end of the webinar, we'd be more than happy to get those answered for you. Today's webinar is really the second part of a three-part series that we're doing. And on our last webinar, we did an introduction to Grandstream as a company, and we introduced Grandstream's networking switch portfolio. So if you missed that and that's something you want to go back and watch, it is on Microcom's YouTube channel, and I believe it's dated July 23rd, 2025. But don't worry, you're not missing anything today if you didn't see that first. So the focus for today is going to be entirely on the Grandstream access point line. And my goal is really to walk you through our options for access points and show you the features that make Grandstream's access points the ideal choice for building a scalable and secure network. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive right in. So as a recap from part one of the series, Grandstream's networking products and access points do fall under the GWN series. And the GWN series is a complete portfolio that's designed to help you build your powerful, scalable, and secure networks with your industry-leading performance and management. So this means you can source all of your essential networking gear from your Wi-Fi access points to your routers to your switches, all from one vendor. And most importantly, all of our products in the GWN series can easily be managed, configured, and deployed with our cloud-based management platform, GDMS. So before we get into the products themselves, I do want to take a moment to look at some of the technical differentiators with Grandstream access points. So let's start by looking at seamless roaming. And this is the process of a device maintaining a network connection as it moves between access point to access point without interruption. And traditionally, seamless roaming was viewed as a function of the client's device, but that's something that Grandstream disagrees with. So to give your clients a true seamless experience with no interruptions to their voice or data, our access points are proactively supporting several advanced roaming standards. We do utilize minimum RSSI, and that's a setting to gently glide or guide the clients towards a closer access point as they're moving about a building. We also use PMK caching for faster, more secure re-authentication. And most importantly, we do support enterprise voice standards like 802.11, R, K, and V, which are all essential for Wi-Fi calling, and it's going to ensure that a call never drops as you walk through a large building passing between access points. So this is especially important if you'd like to deploy Grandstream access points with our phones. We have a WP series, which is all Wi-Fi phones. So these two features working together create that seamless experience for your customers. So looking at security, this is foundational to Grandstream, and we've implemented multiple enterprise-grade features on our access points that are going to protect your network right out of the box. So for an example, our anti-hacking secure boot is going to ensure that APs only power up if all critical components are safe, which is really going to prevent from firmware tampering. And we have critical data and control lockdown, which is going to lock the access point while encrypting data and network setup if a network security event occurs. And we also use unique default passwords on every access point to protect against hacking during the installation process. So all of Grandstream access points do support multiple advanced features. We often talk about features like QoS, VLANs, and mesh, but another advantage of implementing Grandstream access points is that we offer free support for captive portals. And captive portals are a great tool for any public-facing networks like in retail, hotels, airports, and medical facilities. And a captive portal is simply that web page that's going to be displayed on a Wi-Fi client's browser when they first try to access your network. So this allows you to customize the guest experience and enforce your network policies to offer either free or paid access to the network. You can use it to collect information from your users. You can require them to authenticate, or you can have them agree to your terms and conditions before they get started. And all of this is easily managed and configured through the GDMS portal with our access points. All right, so now we'll get into some product, and we are going to start with one of the newest technologies in the industry, one of the buzz terms that I know a lot of people are talking about, and that's Wi-Fi 7. So our initial lineup of Wi-Fi 7 indoor access points is going to offer models for different deployment needs. And we're going to start on the left with the GWN 7672. And this model is perfect for high density deployments. It's going to be a tri-band 2x2 access point with 11 gigabits per second of throughput. It's going to support up to 384 devices, and it'll include two 5 gigabit ports, and it has a coverage range of 175 meters. Moving to the middle, there's the GWN 7670. And this is our standard enterprise grade Wi-Fi 7 access point that's going to be perfect for your small to medium sized businesses or any voice over Wi-Fi deployments. So this model is a dual band 2x2 access point with 3.6 gigs of throughput. It supports 256 devices, and it also includes those two 2.5 gigabit ports with a coverage range of 175 meters. So I'm going to pause here, and I do want to make a quick note. Grandstream sells our products in over 150 countries, and a lot of those countries do not support the 6 gigahertz band yet. So when we initially released our Wi-Fi 7 products, we wanted to come out with a model that everybody in all of our countries and regions would be able to use. So that's why you're seeing a dual band Wi-Fi 7 access point. And while you won't have access to the 6 gigahertz band, it's still going to support features like MLO, 4K QAM, MRU, and puncturing technology, which are all advancements that came with the new Wi-Fi 7 standard. So we're going to have multiple tri-band models released in 2026, and I will touch on those later in this presentation as well. But moving on the right side of the page, we have the GWN 7670WM, and this is a wall mount version of the GWN 7670. And it's going to offer the same 3.6 throughput, and it's going to support 256 devices, and it also has that 175 meter coverage range with one 2.5 gigabit port. So this particular form factor is meant to be mounted on top of the wall, and the shell casing that it's in is paintable, so it can easily integrate into any office space. But we do see these deployed in hotels, schools, conference rooms, or even executive offices. All right, we're going to switch to outdoor or long-range Wi-Fi 7. And currently, we only have one model in our lineup, but we do have multiple more coming out on our roadmap. So the GWN 7670LR is our Wi-Fi 7 long-range model that's going to be perfect for enterprises, offices that have multiple floors, your warehouses, parks, and several other outdoor deployments. So this model again is going to be a dual band 2x2 access point with 3.6 gigs throughput. It does support 256 devices, and it includes a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port and one 2.5 gigabit SFP port. So this model also provides a 350 meter coverage range and has an IP66 weatherproof certification. And lastly, the GWN 7670LR does support flexible switching between internal directional antennas and external omnidirectional antennas. So this is going to give you more flexibility with your deployments. All right, so while Wi-Fi 7 is the future, our current generation of Wi-Fi 6 and 6E access points are delivering exceptional high-speed performance for today's dense environment. We do have a robust lineup of Wi-Fi 6 models that are going to meet any indoor need. So one note, you are going to notice a theme with our access points. Most models are going to typically come in a 2x2 multi-user MIMO version, a 4x4 version, and a hybrid version that's going to offer either 3x3 or 4x4 on the 5 gigahertz band and 2x2 on the 2.4 gigahertz band. So we also have a variety of form factors and mounting options, from your traditional ceiling mount, your in-wall mount, and even a unique under-desk mount access point. And one other note here, all of our Wi-Fi 6 access points do support the same advanced features. So when it comes to choosing the right access point, it really is going to come down to the client density, the bandwidth needs, and the environment of your deployment. So I like to tell people we offer a lot of different flavors depending on your specific deployment. So while the 6 on this page are not every Wi-Fi 6 access point in our portfolio, I did want to start with our 6 top selling APs, and we'll start with the high-end models on the top. So the GWN 7665, this is a tri-band 2x2 Wi-Fi 6E access point, and it's the only Wi-Fi 6E model in our lineup. Moving to the middle, we have the GWN 7664E, and this is a dual band 4x4 access point with 6 gigabits of throughput and support for 512 devices. And then the GWN 7662 is a dual band hybrid access point, which is going to offer you 2x2 on the 2.4 gigahertz band and 4x4 on the 5 gigahertz band. And then moving to the bottom row, we have a couple of special form factors here. So the GWN 7661E on the bottom left, that's a dual band 2x2 in-wall access point. And this model, I do want to note, it's slightly different from the GWN 7670WM, which was the wall mount access point that we covered on the Wi-Fi 7 slide. So the GWN 7670WM was meant to be mounted on top of the wall, whereas the GWN 7661E that we're talking about on this page is meant to be mounted in the wall on the actual wall plate. So most commonly, we do see this model deployed in hotels and MDUs, but there's plenty of other use cases where you need to hide the access point or you don't want it to be as visible. And then moving on to the middle, we have the GWN 7660E, and this is a dual band hybrid Wi-Fi 6 access point. And this is going to offer you 2x2 on the 2.4 gigs band, and then 3x3 on the 5 gigahertz band. And I do want to note, this is actually our top selling Wi-Fi 6 access point, and it's being deployed in a variety of verticals and industries. You can consider it our flagship access point right now. So finally, the bottom right, we have the GWN 7604, and this is another unique model. This is a hybrid compact desk Wi-Fi 6 access point, and it has 4 gigabit ports. So this access point is unique because it's essentially a mini switch and an access point in one. It includes an uplink port that supports PoE and PoE Plus. And it has 2 ports with PSE that can provide PoE and a network connection to other devices. So this access point is most commonly deployed in the guest room of a hotel, and it's mounted under the desk to provide PoE to the phone, the TV, or computer, or any other IP device that you may have in the room. And recently, we've also seen this start to pick up in the SMB or retail space to be used with a POS system. All right, so looking at our Wi-Fi 6 long range or outdoor access points, all of these are built with IP67 weatherproof certifications for durability in those outdoor deployments. Currently I have 2 models, and we'll start with the one on the left, which is the GWN 7664 ELR. And this is a dual band 4x4 access point. It supports 6 gigabits of throughput, 512 devices, and over a 300-meter range. And lastly, we have the GWN 7660 ELR. This is going to be a dual band 2x2 access point. It supports 3 gigs of throughput, 256 devices, and it also has over a 300-meter range. So both of these models do have internal antenna, and they also have a 2.5 gig SFP port for your fiber optic connectivity. And this is going to give you greater flexibility in your installations that may need to exceed that 100-meter cable limitation of UTP. So this lineup ensures reliability and high-speed coverage for any outdoor environment, ranging from, you have outdoor events, campus-wide coverage, municipalities that provide Wi-Fi, industrial environments, and it can even be deployed in those rural or remote areas. So we are going to move on to the roadmap, but I do want to pause here that we covered Wi-Fi 7 and Wi-Fi 6. Grandstream does still have Wi-Fi 5 access points in our lineup. We're not covering those today for the sake of time, but if that is something that you are interested in, we do still carry them for those customers that still need them. But over the last year or so, we've seen the trend be that most people are going to Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 7. All right, so let's look ahead at the future. So our Wi-Fi 7 portfolio is going to rapidly expand, and we are going to add multiple models on our 2026 roadmap. I can't share them all today, but I am allowed to share 2. I'll give you a sneak peek of the first couple that are coming out. First, we have the GWN 7671. This one is going to be launching between Q1 and Q2 of 2026. This particular model is going to be the rectangular one we have here on the screen. So this is, again, an in-wall 2x2 dual band Wi-Fi 7 access point with support for 256 wireless clients. So this will be an upgrade to the Wi-Fi 6 version that we just talked about, the 7661E, that in-wall access point. In addition, it's also going to feature a 2.5 gig uplink port and 2 2.5 gigabit ports with PSE. So for those high performance deployments, the GWN 7674 is launching even sooner. And that's going to be our round form factor here. I believe this is going to be coming out in early Q1 of 2026. And this model is going to be a 2x4x4 tri-band Wi-Fi 7 access point. It's going to support over 640 wireless clients. And it's going to feature a 10 gigabit and a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port with PoE Plus and PoE++ support. And again, like I mentioned, we do have multiple more models that will be coming out on our roadmap, but those won't be announced until later in 2026. But be on the lookout for those because I've heard we have some even more powerful models that will be coming out, even more powerful than the 7674. All right, so I do want to take a closer look at our cloud management system, which is called GDMS. This is our premier tool for centralized management. It's going to allow you to monitor and manage your network from anywhere on any device. And this cloud platform is also going to allow you to remotely manage all Grandstream products, both our networking products and our unified communication products, all from one centralized interface. It does run on the AWS cloud platform, and that offers real-time monitoring, statistics, and reports. It also features zero-touch provisioning, so you can deploy and configure devices remotely, which is really going to simplify your installation process. This even adds a layer of convenience and simplicity for the SMB marketplace, especially for those MSPs and ISPs that are managing multiple customer networks. And most importantly, I can't forget to say that GDMS does not have any licensing fees or additional hardware required, which means you can manage an unlimited amount of devices for free in GDMS. So we do understand that network size and complexity vary. So Grandstream provides 3 free management options for all GWN devices with no licensing fees or extra hardware required. So we've covered GDMS, which is here on the left side of the screen. That is going to be our cloud version. Most of our customers do choose to use this one. But we understand there are some people that either don't want to or for compliance reasons can't manage their network in the cloud. So for that, in the middle of the screen, we have GWN Manager. This is going to be a software client that you can host on your local server. And it essentially mimics the features of GDMS. It also has a mobile app. The big difference here is that it only scales up to 3,000 devices for large deployments, whereas GDMS allows for an unlimited amount of devices. And then finally, for your smaller or your local networks, all of the access points that we talked about today, even our routers, they do include a built-in controller. And these are available through a web interface. So this option is really going to be ideal for deployments of roughly 30 to 50 GWN devices. So no matter what deployments you have, Grandstream wants to ensure you always have the right management tool at no extra cost, with no additional hardware, with no licensing fees. All right, so that covers Grandstream's access points. I do want to thank everybody who joined today. If you guys do have any follow-up questions that you might want to take offline, or if you want to reach out, I do put my email up on this screen. Feel free to reach out to me after this webinar. I'm happy to go into more detail or provide additional information and answer any of the questions that you may have. But at this time, I'm going to hand it back to Julie for Q&A. Abdel and I are both available to answer any questions that may come up.
Thank you very much, David, for that wonderful presentation. And yes, I do have some audience questions for you. Let's get started with the first one. Here we go. First question. Are Wi-Fi 7 client devices ready for deployment now?
That's actually a great question, and I guess it does depend on the device that you're using. Not every client device supports Wi-Fi 7 yet. So, there are a lot of devices in the industry that need to catch up, but we're starting to see it more and more. And that was one of the reasons you may notice that Grandstream did not release our Wi-Fi 7 access points right when Wi-Fi 7 came out, because at that point, about a year ago, there were only a handful of client devices that supported it. But now we're starting to see trends in the market, people that do want to future-proof their networks. So that's why we started coming out with our Wi-Fi 7 access points this year as the device clients start to catch up. But I will see if there's anything that Abdel wants to add to that.
Yeah, I think you covered it all, David. Wi-Fi 7 is going to work fine with devices that support the standards, and especially those that support the 6 gigahertz, so they can take full advantage of the Wi-Fi 7.
Thank you guys very much for that. Let me go on to the next question here. How does secure boot and per device password protect networks?
Sure, that one's going to get a little technical. Abdel, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so basically what it is, every device has its own digital certificate. So like if a malicious or a hacker got into one of the devices, it's not going to affect the rest of the devices because each one of them is using a unique digital certificate that the device uses to validate before it boots up. And the same thing applies to the passwords as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Abdel. Next question here. Do GWN APs support wireless mesh backhaul?
They do support wireless meshing, and some of our access points can support bridge. Now, as far as wireless mesh backhaul, Abdel, I'm not sure if you have any insight on that.
Yeah, probably going to need more details about the backhaul, what they mean by that.
Are they talking about like a point?
Probably they're talking about the point-to-point wireless bridges, like the new models that we're going to release.
If that is what you're talking about, some of our outdoor access points can be set up in bridge mode, and our future Wi-Fi 7 outdoor access points will support a bridge or a point-to-point and point-to-multipoint, but that feature it's not ready yet. It's on our roadmap for later this year. But if you want to share any more detail, I'm happy to elaborate a little bit.
Thank you so much, guys. If the audience member wants to follow up, they certainly know they can do that. But let's move on. I got a couple more questions here. The next one, here it goes. What's Grandstream's vision for the GWN line? What can you tell us about your vision for maybe the near future or the further future?
Yeah, no, that's actually great. And I actually just returned from Bali a couple months ago, where we had our partner conference, and our CEO laid out our vision for the next year and some of the new products that'll be coming out. Some of that information I can share today, not all of it I can. I will tell you, we are getting into some new product categories. So in 2026, we are gonna get into point-to-point and point-to-multipoint devices. We have a entry-level device that'll be coming out next year that it's not gonna be a true backhaul solution, but it is gonna be a bridge. And then we're also in the process of updating all of our switches. We're going to be coming out with a pro line of our switches that have significantly enhanced capacity, and they support faster speeds as well, so that we can support more of these Wi-Fi 7 deployments or people that need a lot more throughput. In addition to that, like we said, we have multiple Wi-Fi 7 access points coming out, and our dev team is in the process of implementing AI into a lot of our products. I don't think I'm allowed to share too much detail about that yet, but I can tell you it's on the roadmap and it's coming in 2026.
Excellent, David. Thank you for that. Last question here for you, sort of similar to the last one. Can you tell us about the roadmap for GWN and Wi-Fi 7 adoption?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first two Wi-Fi 7 models that I shared today, those are the only ones that we're allowed to share at this exact moment. But I can tell you, like I alluded to with the 7674, so our tri-band model that's coming out, we are going to have some significantly more powerful devices that are also going to be able to support, I believe the number was over 1,000 devices. I could be wrong there, but we have significantly more tri-band Wi-Fi 7 access points coming out. They'll be in all the form factors that you see, the in-wall, on-wall, ceiling mount. I believe we'll have a desk mount. We're also expanding that into Wi-Fi 7 routers as well. So you'll start to see some of these products announced in early 2026, because a lot of them are slated for the second half of the year. But as soon as I'm given permission to start sharing information on those products, I'll be sure to incorporate it on our future webinars.
Thank you, David. And we'll have a future webinar. I'm looking forward to hearing about those new things coming around. And thank you both for answering all of those questions for us today. And thank you for everyone attending today as well. And if anyone has any further questions, of course, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown here today, please remember that this webinar presentation has been recorded and will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so it can be viewed again. You guys, thank you so very much. I'm looking forward to our next webinar already, and I'll reach out, David, to see when we can do that. I appreciate your time. Everybody have a fantastic day.
Thank you. Everyone have a good one.
Bye-bye.